Miami! To mission control, we have liftoff. Phinhub! Phinhub! We talking Dolphin City! Phinhub, Phinhub! Yeah! It's that Dolphin Show! Phinhub!
Welcome to the Phinhub Show, the one NFL podcast you can't leave off your roster. Now here's your host, Joey and Kevin Tejido.
All right, welcome to another episode of the Phinhub Show, powered by BetUS. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure to check out BetUS and use code YouTube150 for 150% bonus on your first deposit. The next two will be for up to 125% bonuses. So make sure to check out BetUS and use code YouTube150 today. So the Miami Dolphins will be facing the New England Patriots at home, 1 o'clock on Sunday. A big game for the Miami Dolphins. Playoff hopes still in the balance here. And even though the Patriots are not the best team in the NFL, this is giving me the vibe of a trap game. So the Miami Dolphins have to be very careful. With that being said, though, with Tua back at the helm, the Miami Dolphins have at least scored 27 points in 3 out of the last 4 games. So the offense is looking much better than it was earlier in the season. What do you attribute that success to, and what's different about this Miami Dolphins offense lately?
Tua, for one. Tua, second. And then third reason is Tua.
Okay.
And it's just, guy is completely on his stuff. He is super accurate. You know, that's been his game all throughout. You know what I'm saying? We've been talking about that. But, you know, in the last 3 games, he's completing over 70% of his passes. And, you know, you see him out there. He's dialed in. He's doing his thing. He knows how to maneuver in the pocket. He's, rather than stepping back and out, he's stepping into the pocket. And he's finding a way to evade this pressure because, yeah, the offensive line is serviceable right now, but it's not like they're playing great. Tua is making them great by getting the ball out quick, by getting out and evading that pressure. And the way he's doing it is just magical. I mean, it's kind of more so along the Alabama days. You know, he's doing his thing. It's never been in question. We know Tua was able to do this. The question was more so, can he do this after that devastating hip injury? And it looks like Tua's coming back into his own, and he's showing us, hey, there's a reason why there was a tank for Tua. There's a reason why I was considered to be the best quarterback, possibly of all time in college history, right? That was a conversation at some point. So now all these people that want to say that Tua's not talented, he's showing he can put a team on his back. You know, we gotta go out there and do it against a team like the Packers. We gotta go out there and do it against a team like the Houston Texans. But Tua's showing, at least against the teams he should be doing it against, he's doing it. And, you know, he beat a pretty good defensive line in the LA Rams. He was able to evade pressure there. He is taking some sacks, but, you know, that comes with the territory. If you're going to hold on to the ball and try to make things happen, sometimes you're going to eat some nasty sacks. And, you know, as long as you're making up for it, which he is, you're seeing all these long drives that he's able to sustain and actually score on.
Right.
You take it. You take those sacks because, you know, at the end of the day, if he's not taking those sacks, he's throwing the ball away or he's making a bonehead throw that could lead to an interception because he's trying to force the ball into a window that he can't make maybe every now and then. So I think it's fantastic.
Okay, I think that's actually a good point because we have seen that Tua hasn't been forcing things as much lately. The turnovers are down. He is holding on to the ball a little bit longer, moving outside the pocket. That's something new-ish for Tua, at least in the NFL, given the last few years under the Mike McDaniel era. Not something that we're used to seeing from Tua, but something that they've been adding into the offense. They are also sustaining these long drives, using the run a little bit more effectively. Mike McDaniel seems like he has this offense dialed in too. I really do like what he's done as far as the play calling the last couple weeks at least. So it looks like he might be turning the page and might be developing as a head coach right before our eyes this season. Coming at a pivotal time because the Miami Dolphins are in trouble here with the season coming to an end. the Dolphins are going to have to go on a crazy run now.
Yeah.
We do have a string of winnable games, but like you said, we do have the Packers on Thanksgiving in Green Bay, and then we also have the 49ers at home, but we will be facing Houston in Texas. So, we will be facing the Texans in Houston.
Yeah.
So,
It's a tongue twister there.
either way, that works, right?
Yeah. It's Texas, Texans,
Yeah.
Houston.
But yeah, so the Dolphins can definitely go on this run. Tua has what it takes, and he's shown. I don't know why we keep seeing the criticism from Tua. Tua's obviously a great leader, putting the team on his back here. We are a completely different team, and anyone that wants to argue that just doesn't know football, has no idea what they're talking about, or is just completely in denial.
Yeah, you're 100% right, because even if you want to say, yeah, he's doing this against whatever teams, right? You can't say that. Cardinals are a good team. The Bills are a good team. The Rams are a good team. The Raiders, he ran into the Raiders. You're playing whoever's ahead of you, right?
Yeah.
Whoever's in front of you on the schedule. And then now you're going to go against the Patriots, so they're going to try to take that away from him too. Oh, he just beat the Patriots. Who cares? And I'm not saying we can't get ahead of ourselves and say it's an automatic win. Let's see what happens this Sunday. But if that happens, those are going to be the excuses.
Right.
But you can't say that, because we couldn't beat a really bad team in the Texans. We couldn't beat a mediocre team, in my opinion, in the Seahawks. And we couldn't beat, what was the other team that we
You
lost?
mean the Titans, the Seahawks, and
I said the Texans.
yeah, you said
Sorry,
the
more.
Texans.
I mean,
so it was the Titans,
the
Seahawks.
Seahawks, and who was the other team?
We beat the Patriots on that run, and then we lost to the Colts. Yeah,
The Colts.
Right.
Very mediocre team, in my opinion, too. If we had two in those 3 games, the score is a lot different.
Right.
And even against the Patriots, the score's not 15-10 like we had last time. It was really hard for us to get into that end zone. Tua's probably getting us 2 or 3 touchdowns. Who knows? And I'm not saying passing, but he's moving the ball down the field.
Also, something has been brought up with guys in the locker room, with Mike McDaniel. Since Tua comes back, there is a different type of energy in the team. Everyone feels much better. They've always felt like they're a good team. I forgot who it was that was actually talking about it before. They always felt like they were a good team, even when Tua wasn't on the field. But with Tua back, it's on a completely different level. And I think that feeling is now justified, because you're seeing what they can do on offense. You're seeing that we're putting up nearly 30 points a game with Tua back there. And that is the makings of a really good NFL team in this day and age. You need to be able to score points. If the defense can step it up a little bit, they had a little bit of a hiccup last week against the Raiders. I feel like it's something that they should have been able to contain Gardner Minshew a little bit better than they did. They definitely need to address the tight end position on defense. For whatever reason, those guys are just destroying us.
Yeah.
So they got to figure out something when it comes to that. That's for Anthony Weaver to handle, who also, by the way, hasn't been getting, I feel, the credit that he deserves. This defense has been banged up from the start of the season, has faced multiple injuries. You also release David Long Jr., your starting linebacker. Anthony Walker Jr. comes in. They make that tough decision as a team to let go of David Long, and still they're able to hold things together. Kohu's been in and out of the lineup. Now we're dealing with the Kendall Fuller injury. Jalen Phillips is there for a couple games, goes down with a season-ending injury. We still haven't seen Bradley Chubb. You lose Christian Wilkins in the offseason, replaced by a very good Calais Campbell. So that was maybe
We need
a
to
blessing in
extend him right now.
disguise.
Extend him.
Extend Calais Campbell, definitely. But I really do like what Anthony Weaver has done with this defense, given all of the ins and outs of players. But I think this team is making strides at the right time to go on this run. Like I said, there's some winnable games. There's going to be some tough games. But the Dolphins are in a position, if they run the table, not saying they're going to, because I know people go crazy with those comments saying that we're going to run the table. No, I'm not saying we're going to, but it is possible.
Yeah,
and if they do, that's an 11-win team, which is what we were last year, good enough for the playoffs. And, we're here in this position again.
I've noticed it's one of the 7 deadly sins to be optimistic as a Dolphins fan.
Right.
Everyone wants to come at you for that. But adding on to your whole thing with Anthony Weaver, the way he's coached this defense, the last game he actually coached a really good game. I mean, what happened on the first drive was Calais Campbell giving up that, roughing the kicker, running into the kicker, however you want to call it. That extended their drive. They were able to put up points on that drive. But if not, it would have been a 3-and-out. Kohu had a clear tackle on one of these guys in the red zone. I mean, if you would have stopped that, they would have gotten a field goal. That's 4 points less, right?
Right.
Another thing that Poyer missed a tackle on Brock Bowers that he should have gotten for sure. I mean, he had his legs, right?
Right.
So Kohu, which is basically our surest tackler in that secondary, couldn't get it done. Poyer, an aging Poyer, is just losing the sauce. I don't know what it is. He couldn't get that tackle done. But if those 3 plays, they go your way, right? I mean, we were a blocked punt away from Calais Campbell instead of that thing, right? So the defense gave up some points, but I mean, there was some key plays that they wish they had back, and the score would have been a lot different. Honestly.
Yeah, so I guess what you're saying is the score doesn't indicate how
well we played,
how
on defense.
how distant we were from the Raiders.
Yeah, and the Raiders were playing catch up the whole game. It looked like they were trying to do their all. And we were coasting. We were just like, all right, man, we got this game. We're chilling.
Sustaining those long drives. And that's the thing of beauty. I think Tyreek Hill was actually talking to Mike McDaniel last season, saying that was one of the biggest issues, that we were going with these, which, mind you, is the Tyreek Hill play. These long bombs, just throw it all out to Tyreek. He takes it to the house. But Tyreek himself was saying that we need to have these long, sustaining drives in order to beat these really good teams, in order to take them out of the game. And this is something that they're maybe not realizing now, but implementing now, and implementing it effectively. Another thing to point out that's going to be helpful for the Miami Dolphins is New England gave up last week 107 yards on the ground and 4.5 yards per carry. So Devon Achane should be effective in this game and should be used frequently, as he's been the last few weeks with Tua in the passing game and the running game. It's going to be interesting to see how Jalen Wright comes a little bit more onto the fold, because it does seem like Raheem Mostert has taken a step back in the lineup. I don't know if it's due to ability or due to injury, but Jalen Wright is going to have to step in and hopefully turn some heads so he can secure that number 2 spot. Another thing to think of, which probably is not the case, this is some crazy thinking here, maybe Raheem Mostert is taking the step back so that way he's healthy towards that end of the season. But I don't think right now is the time with the schedule that the Dolphins have, the record the Dolphins have. It's a must-win every single game that the Dolphins have.
So you want your best guys out there. You want the best guys with their hands on the ball. I think it's honestly accountability. I think it's something that Raheem Mostert, I mean, let's be blunt about it. He cost us 2 games. He cost us against the Colts and the game against the Bills. If he didn't get those 2 fumbles, I mean, the record's a lot different, I think. I believe.
It is.
What are we looking at? What would be the record?
Another 2 wins. We'd be 6 and
4. I mean, dude, right there, different. We're in the playoff hunt. We're behind the Bills, still with a chance to take that AFC East, right? So maybe this is the year McDaniel still he's holding his guys accountable. Finally, he's like, hey, look, if you're gonna screw up, you're not messing up my job,
right?
At the end of the day, he said it the other day. He said, nothing is given in this league; it's earned, right? So if you're not playing up to his standard, he's gonna bench you, and the next guy up is pretty damn good. There's a reason why he's in the NFL, right? So Devon Achane, I think he deserves it. I think he's the most explosive weapon we have on this team, and I know that's crazy, because we have a guy like Tyreek Hill. But, I mean, he's there. He's neck and neck with Tyreek Hill. At least this season, he's a better offensive player.
Another thing that the Dolphins did effectively, too, is or now moving on to this new page in the Mike McDaniel offense is going to be actually using the tight ends and effectively. It's Jonu Smith. Jonu Smith has been killing it. For the season, he actually has more receiving yards and more receptions than Jalen Waddle. Who would have thought? Wow. Jonu Smith has come alive, and he's become a big part of this offense. Tua and Jonu are connecting amazingly, and he's physical. He's got some quick feet. He can block. He's a tough dude. I'm really happy that the Dolphins picked him up. Moving on from Jonu, though.
Yeah, no. I mean, to add on to that, without Jonu, I don't think this offense is playing as well as it is.
And I think he's important for this long sustaining drive.
Yeah, and this new wrinkle into the offense.
Yeah.
I mean, all we could get was Tyreek or Waddle back in the day. I mean, getting these bombs, you know what I'm saying? Now with Jonu, we got that middle of the field, that yak. I mean, he's an incredible player, and I'm so happy that we finally have a tight end on this team.
Another guy to look out for is going to be Alec Ingold, who's missed the last 2 games. Alec is going to, at this time, I think he's going to be a game-time decision.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that he plays, not necessarily for him to, I mean, he does so many great things on the field. He's essential for that run blocking. Just a great all-around football player is what Alec Ingold is.
Yeah.
And another leader in the locker room. I would love to see him out there on Sunday, but would it be best maybe for him to wait another game so that way he's healthy for Green Bay, or does he kick off some of that rust against New England so he's good for Green Bay? What's your thought process there?
I mean, look, every game now is essential. I think if you want to, like, gamble and, you know, kind of say, all right, look, the tougher game is against Green Bay. I'd rather have Alec Ingold at 100%. Not to mention that he's going to have to turn around and play in 4 days right after that Sunday game. So I would rather sit him and you know, take our chances with this. You know, it's lesser of a squad in New England. I think we won't have too much of an issue moving the ball against them. Now, Drake May, I mean, I think the thing about him, he's like a flash in the pan. You know, with these rookies, sometimes they can go all out and they can, you know, destroy you because you don't expect it, right? And they have their quote-unquote breakout game. But I think the Dolphins will be able to handle it. So I would sit him. I'd sit him and just have him prepared for the Packers game.
All right, cool.
100%.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that take. Tua's playing great.
Yeah.
The offense is looking good. Mike McDaniel has picked up his game calling. His play calling is looking much better. Anthony Weaver seems to have the defense clicking. And we are going to be hopefully receiving some news on Isaiah Wynn soon. And
Much needed, by the way, with Rob Jones being banged up. I believe he has a growing injury.
Okay.
So, I mean, if Isaiah Wynn could at least maybe suit up this week, maybe we put him back on the roster. He can suit up. Maybe if Rob Jones is good to go, start him. But Isaiah Wynn could possibly be the backup for now. Maybe get him ready, integrated for that Packers game, because I think we got to run heavy on that Packers team, and I think we can do it. But, you know, let's not look ahead anymore. Let's just beat New England right now, because
they got to take care of business.
Yeah, man, we've seen throughout this season you can't look ahead against anyone, bro. These are all professionals. We have to beat whoever's in front of us. Right now it's New England. And you want to make a prediction, or you don't want to do that anymore?
I'd rather not predict.
All right.
But I mean, in spirit, everybody knows where I'm leaning.
Yeah, same here.
But yeah, like I said, the team is looking good. We're looking much so like that team that we were last season.
Yeah.
And that's a sight for sore eyes, because we have gone through it this season as Miami Dolphins fans. The Dolphins will be playing the New England Patriots this Sunday at 1 p.m. If you guys haven't had a chance to check out BetUS, check out BetUS and use code YouTube150 for 150% deposit bonus. The next two will be for 125% bonuses. But use code YouTube150 and get started on BetUS today. But that's going to do it for today, guys. If you haven't already, make sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Fins up.